they at least get this T-side opener on Anubis. Let's see what kind of pace they come in with.
I think best in the world is a very fair statement. 20-4 this year alone for Aurora on Anubis. They wrote the playbook of this CT side. Let's see if Mongols have brought their notes, done their homework, woken up. A very young team with a lot to prove. A team that said they were here to win it all off the top of the day. Well, they may be moments away from being eliminated in the quarterfinals. The Mongols walk out middle.
Double Beretta's up close as mid looks to get tested. Wakadia will be getting swung here. Multiple angles, lots to worry about, but he's down a dance. First kill comes in. Oh, and a little bit more. There's help from Maja on that push out through the camera. Zinho backstab is in. Senzu here to lend a helping hand, but the bomb lost in middle. And Zantares and Jota time to get set up. Even a smoke down now to block this.
I mean, you can't wait that, can you? Can you really? That would be down in just a few seconds and you wouldn't even have time for that plant. They've got to jump through, and Senzu finds that flying shot. The Mongols come through with a pistol.
Ooh, what can you even say about that? Aurora, that one's really going to hurt.
Yeah.
You get jump shot, a bit of luck, a bit of chance comes into that pistol round.
I don't know how Mongols even win that. They were so locked out in middle. The headshot midair into the turn back. And maybe the Mongols can wake up now.
And look, if any way of winning that round was going to do it, 2v4 with a jump shot in there to make it happen. From Senzu, no less, the one that you want to see stepping up, taking some onus over this T side.
Yeah, and it's hard to say, like, individually, he was the problem again. He went missing in that first map. You can't really pin it all on him. Sure, it's a bit of a capitulation as a team, but he had his moments. He won him around on his own. The problem felt deeper than that for the Mongols. Even just the angle of them, you know, coming in, young players, having to get up very early to play this stage game. Underestimating what they're up against. You can talk about winning the event, but you've got to start strong. You've got to take down your first opponent, and something that Mongols have done so many times before. Aurora's first full buy on this CT side. It may be an argument on whether they're the best team in the world on this map, but it's no argument that they're the best CT-sided team on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that's sort of been the backbone to why they've had so much success. They're one of the few squads out there that can win out on the T half. Or CT half, rather.
I've seen games where Aurora will only have a couple of T rounds in their hands and still come back and close the map.
That was how their year started. Back at Blast, right? Having it in the BO5 final, come back on a 9-3 T half. They only get 3 rounds. They managed to drag it all the way in OT and then win that map.
Yeah, the one map they won in that BO5 against Spirit. Okay, Mongols clashing in con. They find a double kill there. Sticking this one, it seems, but if Aurora are tempted, they might like what they see. 3 low players on the Mongols in this post plant.
Protocol has to be for the Mongols, like, just don't give a kill away. If you never give them the reason to go, like 2v3, you can justify giving it a look in. But as long as no one missteps, on numbers alone, regardless of health, Aurora can't go for this.
They put the nail on the head because look at Aurora. They're playing to contain, they're holding CT. If a kill comes their way, they will go for it. But no kit right now, no util, and the numbers do the talking in this round. A 2-on-4 Aurora don't touch it. So we might have a game on our hands in a second map with a fairly strong start for the Mongols. Keeping 4 alive is extremely important. Beautiful Barris Arena with a 360 stage and with a sold-out Championship Sunday.
Timeout for Aurora. They want to get ahead of this. Right, in the same way that Mirage started with Aurora finding all that success, keeping the money in a really rough spot for the Mongols, it felt like it was a big reason as to why that first half shaped up the way that it did. Rounds can get away from you very, very quickly here. And, you know, in the same way we were excited when Xantares and Wakadia both showed up in good form on map 1, you should be very happy if you're a Mongols fan that Senzu and Mazinho currently topping the charts. Mazinho keeping up. He was kind of the one guy who felt like he was playing the same in that first map. Everyone else feeling colder, more awkward. He was still making these aggro moves, trying to bring a lot to the table. And now he's got Senzu up here with him.
Yeah, that's after a year of really strong events since his debut in Tier 1 back at Cologne last, 20... Okay.
Hold on a second. Wakadia and Xantares have suddenly started this round off in great shape for Aurora, both getting away with a kill. And so what was meant to be a bit of a gimme round for the Mongols, only up against really these saved guns, is now in a precarious spot. There's a 3-man stack as well. Aurora, they love to bring a third player over into this B site, so you've got to be ready for it, but Woxic still yet to take contact, spotted out and spammed to death by Techno on a tear. 3 kills to his name.
Heard him.
This is the birth of Techno. 5K, he just falls short on the Wakadia fight. And so the two Titans of that round clash in the battle for Dark Control. Wakadia comes out ahead.
Big flank for Wakadia, but I can't help but think that what that would have been if Mongols got that first entry clean onto Jota. The Molly flushed 2 players out of position. The nade was perfection. Mongols almost trade that out to a 1 round off the back of Techno. But that was a 2v5. And Aurora holds strong, finding their first round, buying a double AWP on this CT side. That's a statement. That's certainly not expected. Oh, he hit the molly, doesn't matter. Is that on purpose? Jota tagging in the other side? Either way, they were peeking into Maja. But he finds that 5-on-4, stops the roll for the Mongols. Strong position for Senzu. It doesn't look like Maja wants to go fishing in the canals. Got a nice tight angle. Util to block after his first bullet. Meanwhile,
that's a lot of info, not just an opener, but you see Xantares in the kill feed. You know that this is the triple B stack. He is that third piece at the B site. Whenever Aurora go for it, Wakadia up close here, right as the Mongols split through main, left and right side of the smokes, but there's that double AWP. Woxic gets his line, gets his kill. And Aurora slow down. They're going to play this one 3-on-2 in the retake. Techno is still far away. They know that because he got the kill outside of B. Maybe they're a little worried about him flanking, someone coming later through middle, but for now they still have this 3-on-1. They try to run at blitz and they will get past him. It's a bit of a guessing game where Techno could be, but because they held mid for a few seconds, you feel like he would have already played his hand. Nearly clutched up in that last round. Can Techno do it this time? Arm spotted, there's the swing. Maja provides the cover, faith in the captain. And rounds starting to be chained together now from Aurora.
Yeah, those 2 AWP shots on B for Maja and the closer, despite a very ugly smoke. Doesn't really land on that bomb perfectly. And if Techno held that nade, maybe he could have found even more damage there. So stone's throw away from a round for the Mongols, but Aurora do find it. and call the money into question. Don't be surprised to see a hero gun here for the Mongols. It's very tempting. Casino or Blitz could do it. But it's another Blitz classic. He's bought a solo AWP into an eco round. Crazy investment.
With how Aurora have started in this round, there isn't really a reason to go peeking down here into dark. You're only too strong inside of this B site with much more of a focus over middle, expecting maybe a bit of a Tech 9 pop there. And so, you know, a block on dark, Madja playing more passive. All this means for Blitz is it's going to be harder for him to get like these early fights on the AWP.
Yeah, this does surprise me a lot. You'd much rather an AK, I just think, for the mobility, for the fact that you can trade this in a pack. And Orb does limit your options. It does rely on Aurora forcing plays. And they are not the kind of team to do that on the CT side. They are fine to sit back in their setups, in their stacks, take their gambles. Madja has a great read in this defensive side. Right now, though, it's 3B. Xantares is starting to edge his way back. Uncertainty for Aurora, but no panic. They plant their feet, wait for the Mongols. Flash playing con, and Blitz full blind. Now you've seen the AWP.
That's the one fight you were going to get given. Now you've got to go up close. Combat AWPing.
Oh, wait.
Senzu and Blitz both get away with the kill. Still a third man here. Xantares lies in wait, but the Blitz hero AWP once more making this interesting. 2v2 in the post plant. 9-10 now armed. Now dangerous. Wakadia getting activated on this flank, but getting through the AWP. I mean, now that it's in a post plant, Blitz gets even more dangerous. He'll back off to play around this bomb. And this Hail Mary, the back-to-back AWP, hero buys on both maps now. Blitz is hoping second time is the charm. Woxic, Barrel's gonna give him away here. Blitz will have an extra second. He's seen an arm. Full blind off the line though. And that AWP gets pushed off. It's gonna be real close, but Aurora have got it. They answer the call. Blitz stopped in his tracks. And a tie game as the hero AWP purchase so close, but not enough.
Yeah, it's a small detail, but you almost want them to swap guns in that post plant there, right? Maybe they're a bit panicked. No one's microing that from Dead Talk, but 910's the AWPer. He has no armor. Blitz can grab an AK. There's plenty to go. It could have made the difference. It didn't. Mongols close, but no cigar. Aurora continue on this CT half.
And man, you see it in like the celebrations, how Aurora are on the cams. Stages have been a nightmare for this team. It's where they felt their worst. It's where they felt their lowest. It feels like they're finally getting to enjoy themselves a little bit up here, especially with how many of these rounds have come down to, you know, tight clutches that you're still towing over the line.
Woxic certainly looks like he's having some fun. And he's been arguably the biggest culprit of players disappearing on the stage for Aurora. Big drop-off on the statistics. He was a rock back on Mirage. There's always three wherever Mongols seem to go. Can Aurora keep up the strong reads on this CT side? Mongols take a turn for their own. They walk out middle. That flash, info flash, finds no bullets. Still the shot will connect. Woxic sees that cross. Mongols have mid. They're trying to split the A site, but right now it's only 910. He's got no support and he's got no chance. Woxic nails both. And this round peters out at 30 seconds.
You even hear that slink back through the dark control. You know you're not going to get rewarded for hanging around middle. You have two options here. You either go into the double stack at B, or you go into the Woxic AWP, try and battle it head on. Oh, but you ain't getting past Woxic right now. He is pumped up.
And that's a 4-buy round, and that's where it goes, right? Just players so split up, making this move in middle. No one on 8, but any form of pressure on. Woxic's back is completely covered by Wakadia. He plays this strong line that he couldn't play if MongolZ had A main control. It seems like we're getting a lot of individual plays. 4 blind peaks, or dry peaks rather, for the Mongols. Feed Woxic's AWP.
And we said coming into this, right, for neither of these teams, their AWPs hadn't really been dominating. It had been a quiet tournament from both 9-10 and Woxic. But Woxic is starting to level up on this AWP, finding his footing. Zantares gonna take more than that to get past this guy in middle. Gets out with a double. Missed shot for Woxic, but he can just go through the motions on this AWP. And Aurora have the read. They've got it in spades. They bought both players off the B site. They full reinforced middle. Bomb now dropped out in no man's land. And 9-10 has nowhere to go.
Woxic is so oppressive right now. Every line in middle held down. Back-to-back multi-kills from Woxic.
And yeah, you know, while Woxic feels like he's leveling up and he's really starting to take control over this game, 9-10 on the other side, 1-7 to open.
Hasn't had
Even
a chance.
thinking back to Mirage, he was, you know, one of the bottom performers for the Mongols. I think you can make the argument that in these Hero AWP round, Blitz has actually found more impact on his AWP. And like you were saying back on that last map, not even the third AWPer. So, want to see more mileage out of 9-10. He's going to get his hands on the AWP now.
Just look at the map, look at the blue dots, right? They're just so cemented next to each other, stuck in place. Two groupings of Aurora and the fear of mid control. Woxic goes back to check it. He's going to get mollied out of the camera, has to play inside of the site. It's Wakadia with his eyes on mid now. As control gets taken. AWP dry peek could be the answer here. It's a risky move, but it's going to pay off. You just have to jump. You just have to go if you're the Mongols. It's again into Woxic's AWP.
I mean, these are the types of position Woxic as a turret pivoting between angles, and now he's got buff. Oh, God! Woxic, this is where he wants to be. These are the fights he likes. There's no stopping him. Plant comes in, but you never feel safe. You never feel secure. Woxic's put the right foot forward. Standard for a southpaw. Couple of jabs land, and they've put this back in Aurora's favor. But how much more can Woxic find? Waiting for his teammates to join him. Raring to go. Molly displaces the site player for now. Techno thrust out into the open. You're always looking over your shoulder, but you find Zantares there. You breathe a little easier. Woxic has to do this alone. And the 6 sequence falls. It's all for naught. Techno gets past him, and the Mongols finally break this 5-round streak.
Unbelievable. They can't close that with a hold for Woxic. What a monstrous effort. 3 incredible turret-like shots. The left-right good night. And Mongols in the post plant with Galils. Able to drag it back. 2-on-3. That one burns for Aurora. And Mongols look to kick up the pace. This is con control we haven't seen before. Senzu. Disallowed.
Wild for Wakadia to creep through the main take util and call the bluff on them actually going for a play on this side of the map. That only kind of galvanizes this 3-man stack for Aurora over at B.
And Mongols really wanted con in the meantime, but they've just been mollied, naded, double smoked now.
Something else I think it's worth mentioning here is usually, right, in this 2-3 stack, Woxic with the AWP is the other A player. But right now, Xantares and him have actually traded places. And that AWP is very, very useful on the long sightline through mid.
We've seen this fight get lost as well, even though Xantares is playing a different angle to last time. 9-10 crouch peeked this and got the kill onto Arcadia. So tighter line for Xantares. He gets a bit of warning. He blocks at 20 seconds.
Yeah, time is going to be a big enemy of the Mongols here if they get slowed down anymore. Starting to shore up this play. It's blitz to open. Arcadia, 15 seconds. He's split through main. Still manages to get out with one. That's at least going to keep you interested here if you're Aurora. But the Mongols do get that bomb down. Woxic back in the kill feed. Continuing to be this shining light for the Aurora squad. Senzu left up in a 1 versus 3. We'll have this first fight on Jota. But past that point, when they get the info, they know where he is.
Oh, no.
Funneled in! Oh! Senzu! 1 versus 3! And never breaks a sweat! Threw himself into every one of those fights. Aurora, a misstep in that 3v1, and they make life too easy for Senzu.
Yeah, they team flash. They team flash hard. Magic couldn't see a thing coming around that corner. That first flash was fine. The second one, well, that was all for Senzu. Disaster strikes. And despite Woxic again on the AWP, the Mongols come through with another clutch round. They've finally broken the money. They're finally in the series.
Oh, Arcadia, a few more steps.
Oh.
Will get that kill, 9-10. Caught as Mazzinho just left position, now tries to make up for this. But that Deeg's putting the fear in them. Mongols aren't worried yet, but it is the most awkward way this round could have opened. An untraded 4v5 dink on a Senzu,
okay.
just narrowly holds on.
Whew. Trade out.
But they might be going into the stack here. 3 strong inside of the B site. Xantares getting away with even more damage. Dual Beretta's retrieved. Maja also wounded. And so it feels like if anyone was going to upset the nature of this round, it would have to be Woxic. You see that bomb's going out through mid on the back of Blitz. This is a risky move. Right now, they don't know where Woxic is on the map.
Ooh.
But now that you've seen Woxic, you know the other guy was Maja. It's a done deal. The Mongols, a chance to win out the half on this T side. After a 5-round hiatus, it's them now streaking rounds together, 3 in a row.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call that an eco bash for Mazzinho. He gets 4 kills, but how important are they considering his teammate gets 1D'd down on the stairs and everyone else is low or alone? Very important kills just to make sure Aurora don't win a huge upset round, and now Mongols look to win the half. Will Woxic feel like he wants to get more involved and try and force the issue here on the CT side? He's been tame, he's been passive, he's been nailing his shots. 9-10 sends it to Con, and that's more like it. 3-10, but a high impact kill to send Mongols into this B split. They're not ready to go, but little do they know this site is under defended.
Senzu extending that advantage. And Aurora dripping players into this B site piece by piece. Oh, that's a hell of a double for Arcadia. Mazzinho tries to match him. But the bomber lost. Xantares has uncovered it in middle. The alarm bells are going off for the Mongols. They might have the B site. That's no use to them without this bomb. 9-10 going back. Can't get past the Woxic AWP.
Can you blame him?
And it's this dastardly duo, Woxic and Xantares, that look to bring us even at the end of this first half. Tit for tat in that final round. And 6 rounds on the CT side. Well, that feels like a job well done for Aurora.
Yeah, they're going to be happy with that, especially with the pistol going in the way of the Mongols. Converted simply. Streaks of 3 is it for the Mongols.
Feels like the other problem you're going to face here if you are the Mongols. I'm loving what we're getting out of Senzu. Mazzinho still keeping up appearances, right? Doesn't feel like he's really fallen off in this playoff match thus far. But you look down the line, right? 9-10 still lagging behind. Techno feeling a little awkward. It's a very top-heavy board for the Mongols. Is that something that Aurora can look to exploit now that they move on to the T side?
Been a difficult game today for the Mongols, no doubt about it. It's really been clutches. That's where they've come through. That's when they've won rounds. Solo players, 2v4s, 1v3s. Across both maps so far, Aurora have looked like the better team, and there's no doubt about that. Can Mongols make this match more interesting and secure both pistols?
It's a 1-4 B pop. Aurora have a late lurk, but that won't matter if you all die in main. Jota trying to take space, trying to make this worth it. Pressures Techno down in dark, struggling to get past him. Final few bullets connect. Madge has also got the spot on Blitz, knows he's there, whittles him down low. Push back through, it's a desperate play from the Mongols. And well, Woxic gets there just in time to lend a helping hand. That is a wild turnaround.
3v5 into a triple B stack with the flash blinding 2 players of Aurora on entry. They slow down, look for those fights, and they headshot everyone. And that just feels like Mongols get wiped off of the map. To lose that round in that fashion, oof. Again, taking these ecos when they don't convert. But Aurora expect this. Triple Mac 10. Patient in middle. Uh-oh.
You can't have to fight and die on these mid-fights if you're Aurora, and they will. They quickly group. They don't react trying to go somewhere else. They just fight and die on the hill that is mid. And so they collect that conversion. And, you know, in that first half, when we're talking about Aurora, we were saying, you know, they are one of the teams that can put up some big numbers on this CT half. The Mongols don't really fit into that category. In fact, some of their worst losses here have been predicated with, like, strong T-side leads that fizzle out entirely when they get to that second half. So this is going to be, like, one of the best CT halves from the Mongols. And now they've got to do it from the back foot. 9-10, this is strong positioning for him. Walked all the way through dark, has a teammate here with him. It's whether or not they're ready for Mazinho as the second man. And they're actually going back stairs side. There is this crossfire. Senzu and Mazinho, the 2 heavy hitters for the Mongols, in position to rip this round away. Triple water push as Maja is throwing in to a 1v4 clutch attempt. He's found the first. Time is the one thing Maja has to play with.
Yeah, there's an in-game leader clutch right now, right? Not just going for the standard fights in con, comfortable fights. He wants to get weird with it, go all the way around. But if he starts walking here, he's never going to have a chance to win this one. Mongols are so far away. It's clearing dead positions. And Mongols just sit on that bomb. So it might just be a combat save for Maja in the clutch. He knows what his team can do with Hero AK. But I say that, they have a 4-buy coming up anyway because of how clean that previous round was. So this is planning for the future for Maja. I like to see an aggressive setup for the Mongols, though. Trying to disrupt the default of Aurora.
I mean, I think they know, right? If they're like caught sitting back in bomb sites here, giving too much respect.
Aurora know how to slow play those rounds. They know how to strangle you out on a bomb site, and I actually think the Mongols did a pretty bad job of that on their T side, even when they had, you know, lots of players in middle. Think of those rounds where Woxic's AWPing towards camera. Mongols have middle. They're trading out peaks. There's never A main pressure. Even when they got the con kills, the B main players weren't ready to go. They were still stuck, spread out on their default, and still took the early fights. So Mongols just got a little bit lost in that T side.
I also think it's
will not.
A really nice way to like assert yourself a little bit more coming into this second half. It felt like, you know, they were They were always lagging around behind the adaptations of Aurora in that first half. This was a chance for Blitz and the rest of his squad to flex with the aggression.
Yeah, just to let them know we can do this at any time. But if anything, all that does is slow down this Aurora T-side default. It makes them play more passive. So after an Aurora T-side timeout, let's see how they fare. I doubt we'll see them up the pace at this point in the game. That would only be to MongolZ's benefit, to let this early utility be punishing. Aurora know how quickly they can bleed them dry. Selfless hero Madger with 12 kills still drops his AK over. Trying to get his stars activated. Oh, they do it again. This is the fearlessness from the MongolZ we've been waiting for. Hard com push with the stairs smoke. And Aurora lose all of this space.
And seeing this twice in a row, you know, it starts a very early mind game between Madger and Blitz. You know, now, whenever that stairs smoke comes in, you're more likely to respect it. You're more likely to take your time. That's something that the MongolZ could try and use to their advantage down the stretch of this game.
And I like they're not like running out a main insta. They're using the con control first. That Rug's angle is so powerful to stop an A push. But when that stairs smoke is down as deep as it is, the MongolZ can just run out con, and it's a really easy fight for them. Only at that point does an A player need to put pressure on. So they take the kill. They delay the clock to 40 seconds, and they fall back to the bomb site. What this costs, however, is utility.
Yeah.
They have nothing to stop this play.
It is a very resource-intensive play, and will they feel the burden of that lack of util? They try to pad out their site with numbers, but numbers won't save them. Aurora break through from the deficit. The bomb is coming in very, very late compared to the rest of the squad. There's still time for this to get weird. Still not planted. But there's the cover from Xantares. Mazinho low. Only this USP. Where's the gun gone? He goes back to grab it, but Woxic and Xantares take space in that downtime. That fraction of a second he's off the line. They're double set up to watch heaven. And so Mazinho can't do this. Saving is his best option.
Looked a bit crazy from Jota to go through the smoke there, but it was in tandem with Xantares pushing the stairs, so they just crunched that heaven position. Aurora coming confident despite being a man down, and with MongolZ unable to slow the roll, Aurora just go and they go again, deeper and deeper. Round after round, their lead by 2. And so while the opening idea was great for MongolZ, every single player in that A bomb site, and they had enough, they had 3 guys there, they get caught off guard. Techno, an indecisive move, whether to back up or stay. And a great flash that renders Blitz useless. Of course, only 1-for-1 on the camera player. All going to plan for Aurora. It's MongolZ with the timeout. What a day it would be for Aurora to brush off the stage nerves. They have been ghosts in playoffs all year, ever since Copenhagen, where they took down Vitality, soon to be the best in the world. They took a map off of Spirit in a BO5. We had high expectations. We saw the potential. We saw what Xantares was giving us, how Woxic could perform. And ever since that point, it has just been disappointing. It has been first rounded every single time in the playoffs. Stage or not. And so Aurora beating their demons here. Taking down a hot-handed MongolZ who went 3-0 in the group stage, who 2-0'd Na'Vi on a comeback, 8-4 down. And after that game, Yanko said, this is the kind of game Mongols wouldn't win on a stage. Are we seeing that Mongols today?
Well, Aurora have set their sights on the B play. The Mongols do have this stack here. And so can Aurora brave the three-man B hold? Xantares faces first, gets the spot on the player in at default. That's knowledge of what? Senzu gets deleted. And that bomb starts to make its way in. Smoke spam, but it goes back the other way. Wakadia. Oof. Chance proven to be a fine thing. And now no one else for Aurora faces. They were very confident as that bomb was getting planted. Now they leave the pressure on the shoulders of the Mongols. Woxic holds the line. His rifling holds up. And Aurora move into double digits. The money of the Mongols broken.
Just an
the path to a playoff win has never felt safer and more obtainable for Aurora.
Yeah, to be up and to be on the T side of Anubis, the map that you made your own, the map that you're 20-4 on in the year with some huge streaks in there multiple times over. This feels like it's meant to be. Woxic is 20-9. He has been the biggest ghost on the playoff stages. Not today. He did it last map. He's doing it again. What a time for Woxic to show up. He had a 2 KD, a 1.5 rating over on Mirage. And that's before we talk about Wakadia. But here on Anubis, Woxic has stolen the show. Multiple multi-kills on that CT side, and he shuts down that post plant just as well. Woxic has 6 multi-kill rounds in the map.
And you factor in Xantares started off on a real heater. Hasn't even felt like much of a requirement here on Anubis, but he's showing in this round he can still do it. Mid-openers all day long from Xantares. And he's on for the ace. They know where Mazinho is. Go on, Xantares. He tries to attempt it. One shy of all 5.
You have been terminated.
And so now, do or die for the Mongols. They begrudgingly eco that last round to have rifles here. For Aurora, it's in their grasp. We remarked on their casual, laissez-faire attitude coming into this. It's not the case that they have set crazy expectations. They were very much taking this game as it comes. But now that the chance to pick up a win in the quarterfinal is dangling right there in front of them, is that where the pressure picks up? This next round decides it all. If they break through here and now, it's as good as done. And so it's slow from the get-go. They're not getting caught up in the occasion. Xantares bullied to open, sees Woxic swap off that AWP straight away. The Mongols have a triple B stack, but in a round like this where you're limited in terms of the util, you feel like you're on the back foot, risks have to be made. They're going to come through with mid-round aggression to clear out this B side of the map. Right now, the Mongols know it is fast building to be this A play. They've just got that intelligence from the B push. And should they start to bring everyone over into this A site?
But again, they have no util except this smoke. That's the only thing really ready to block this play. It comes down, it buys a few seconds here for the Mongols, but Aurora might even just go through. If they hear that gun go dry as well, the temptation is too much. Out they go with the flash, the first entry, and the barriers start to come down.
That molly, that forces a swing. 9-10 had to commit, they didn't give him any other options.
Oh!
Captain on Captain Violence though, as Blitz brings the heat. And it peters out for Aurora. There's 10 seconds left. They know they're going into a stack. They can't win it now. They can't win it here. They back up and save. The Mongols on the wings of Blitz get to fight one more round.
And no celebrations. Not getting ahead of things. That has to be the first of many, only just to pull back this one map in the series. It's a heroic moment, but it is but one moment. Mongols have more to do. Aurora just want to write it off. Unlucky, go next. Do it again.
A repeat round from Madja. Faith that eventually they'll break through this A-hold. And Mazinho dead instantly, 9-10, same exact position, but this time no results, no blitz here to bail them out. The Mongols lag behind on these rotates, on the firepower, on the manpower. And Woxic and Wakadia drive the nail into the coffin of the Mongols. Losing here leaves them with nothing in this follow-up round. And Zantares gives chase to add insult to injury, a punishing win.
And that leaves nothing left here for the Mongols. 2 to 3K a player. It has never been more within reach right now for Aurora. What a hell of a year it's been for this Turkish team, but whether it's complexity in Bucharest, Maus in Lisbon, Spirit in Stockholm, Falcons in Cluj, and Mongols in Katowice, 5 playoff failures in a row for Aurora about to be broken. And against the team that started it all.
Four chances to take this one over the line. No chance will be as easy as this one. Aurora have found a lot of comfort in these slower rounds. It's hard to give in to the chaos when it's all been this composed. But do they change it up now? As very, very quickly they've set their sights on the dark control. They've lobbed in this B util for the Mongols. It's been 3 B stacks in a row. And Aurora haven't known about that, not entirely. Madja hoping that these constant A plays are enough to get the Mongols doubting, and it hasn't changed the setup at all. Ooh. Zantares, molly out into the open, will get found. For Aurora, this is your wildest dream right in front of you. And Woxic's AWP is helping them so much to try and make it a reality. Full harass at B. They know the pressure is on the Mongols right now, but the tide starts to change. Mongols bite back, and Aurora 40 seconds. If they are going to change their mind, they've got to go now.
They can do it. They just need to run. Madja was walking for a moment. He needs to up the pace, up the ante on this split. They have no smoke to stop this. 9-10 can nail the shot, but it's a huge whiff. The bomb makes it in. There's no one to stop that plant. And with Wakadia locking down mid, this might be the beginning of the end.
Another miss from 9-10. Wakadia will get picked up eventually. And so now Madja, the captain of Aurora, the one that they rally behind, has got to try and walk it over the line, and he can't. Third time's the charm for 9-10. The Mongols had nothing going into that round, no reason to win it. But they don't let up, they don't go quiet. There's still more ground yet to cover.
We see the difference in detail with the utility there for the Mongols, actually having enough to stop an earlier round from Aurora when they try split that bomb site. Look at the molly and con onto Xantares. Look at the double B main smoke. Aurora feeling so much pressure, they're popping through the util. And it is ugly for 9-10, but it is enough. Hits that one shot, and that's all it takes to keep Mongols in it for one more round.
The setup here from the Mongols, they start 2-2-1. It's only Mizinho actually in the A site.
He can't die.
And he's trying to buy time on the util, right? These have been late hits over at A. These haven't been early plays. He might just get caught. Nades in hand. Xantares can't quite finish.
He's lucky.
And so that will buy them some much needed time to pad out the A site. If Mizinho fell there, this could already be over. 9-10 able to get here on that AWP, but it's more swings and misses from the Mongolian AWP. Backstab,
what?
Blitz, follow through on that mid-aggression. And for the first time in a long time, because Aurora were a bit more pacey, there were gaps.
No.
Woxic and Madja, as that aggression keeps coming through, they'll punish. They still don't know where Blitz has gotten to. Jota spots one, but where is Blitz? Right now, it's a mission of finding this elusive player in the back line. He's left them looking over their shoulder, but piece by piece, they've isolated these angles. Still, they can't get past him. Is it coming undone for Aurora? Woxic top of the board. But 20 seconds, time is of the essence, and they have all the info. Perfect information to play off of. The only thing Woxic has is speed. And he's been forced to slow down. He catches that kill, but Senzu up close.
Oh no!
The spray misses.
No!
Plant just found. And Senzu stops Woxic in his tracks.
What a roller coaster. For Blitz to stop on the flank as well, that feels like it's what wins the round. It forces Woxic to plant. He still somehow gets that kill, and Senzu almost throws it away. I don't know how Mongols are still here. I don't know how they are still in this game. It should have been done rounds ago. And despite Blitz's 5-on-3, Mongols still try and feed Aurora. As close as it physically can get.
And this might very well come down to a one-round game. Aurora, the one thing they could rely on was the money they'd been able to bank up, and that's now gotten away from them. They're forced onto a hero gun round. Well, who has that hero gun? It is Xantares. And sure, he's had his moments on this T side, but hasn't been required in that same vein as he was in the opening map to storm the board. Woxic has been a huge helping hand. Well, it's in this round. When you give Xantares that AK, you're putting all your trust in him.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of...
But if one guy can do it, it is this guy.
We've seen a lot of sight hits in this T side for Aurora. Some things off the rip, but middle is Xantares' domain. That's where he likes to force his kills, clearing the door, often with no util. AWP does not scare this guy. But Mongols block him for now. This is very committed for Aurora with 3 B main like this. And no real execute available. Smoke molly's all they've got. They cancel the plan, go back to middle, let Xantares try again. Xantares v Senzu, I mean, these are the stars of the show.
You put your round in your faith. in the best rifler Turkey's ever produced. He sets his sights on this mid-control. There is a big gap there. Thankfully, Mazinho not punished for it. Gap in the comms, lapse in the comms, and that's given room to Aurora. Mazinho proves to be very important with 2 kills down the stretch, but suddenly it's not Xantares, the veteran on that AK. It's the young blood Wakadia that's given Aurora their chance to close this out on the partial. Wakadia falls, 9-10 pressured. Low health Woxic, but given an AWP, his weapon of choice, having a great game. The nade falls shy, but Techno won't. One round match as another clutch comes up in favor of the Mongols.
They can't keep getting away with it. They just can't. How many chances do Aurora need to end this match? And now they feel it, that old familiar feeling, choking on the stage. They've had so many advantage positions, post plants, 3 retakes in a row for the Mongols. They have no right to be in this match right now, but they are absolutely going to give it a go. Double AWP.
It's one thing to show up and play your best playoff series yet. It's another to win the game, and that has been a creeping problem for this Aurora squad. It felt like they'd bucked the trend. They'd moved past it. They'd caught the Mongols off balance. And so finally, after all these faster rounds to try and get this game over the line, Aurora return to what was working, something slower. All these early paths of Mongols' aggression covered.
The con control puts so much pressure on this B hold. It's only too strong. Blitz is called back to reinforce this site. Magic in this position is a huge threat. At any point, Aurora could appear on B. And Madge is trying to keep that pressure on. Listen to these steps. He's feigning interest, puffing up his chest. We're more than just me here. Meanwhile, Aurora pulling the wool over the Mongols' eyes into this A site.
He's had some really rough rounds as 9-10. Just the one here, but it does stop Xantares. Makes life easier for Mazinho, who mops up that mid-lurk. Aurora starting to feel like it's now or never. They get out, but the Mongols are all here trying to swarm. Wakadia with the reply. Missed shot from the Senzu Warp. And the Mongols have to slow this down. It's another post plant. Once more,
the flag.
Multi-kill on Wakadia, but it might all be for naught. He needs the ace clutch if he wants to win this. Heart is now racing. Wakadia has the game in the palm of his hands. Senzu holds the line. It's another retake on the Mongols in body. There's fighting words from back at the major. A man could be destroyed, but not defeated. They refuse to go down.
4 retakes in a row. We see Mongols unbothered by round wins a moment ago. But there they get up, they cheer. They are in this game. They are in Aurora's heads. And they have the arena on their side. Overtime in map 2. And Aurora just have to kick that feeling that they should and could have closed this game already. Nine-10 burns to a crisp in that mid-Molotov. He has to pull back. Madge has been deep blocked in con. A little more contact earlier in this round, but no one pays the price with their life. Bye-bye. Second nade connects. Woxic in back-to-back rounds has been bullied by this util. And not for any benefit. No one willing to give the sniper the pick. He's cooled off. Aurora haven't even been doing B splits. They've got this A site. It's so free every time. They keep planting. They just can't close. Trying something different now. Techno caught on a wide swing. It's a double up for Jota. Don't count anything out though. Blitz trying to send it around the corner, gets caught on the wall. And finally, it feels like Aurora may have found that magical round, but they've done it too late.
Yeah, you breathe a little easier though, knowing you've at least stopped this 4-round streak from spiraling out of control. Back in OT, you take the first, and I think also, you get a bit of a helping hand there. The Mongols, once they hit OT, feeling a degree of freedom, start going back to trying to make plays. That was how they opened up their CT half. This time it comes back to haunt them. That elusive 13th on the board for Aurora. And a chance to make this a punishing round all the same. But winning rounds, winning halves, hell, getting to map point, that hasn't been the problem for Aurora. It's closing out this game. It's when you're on match point, 1 round away from moving into the semis. That's where the crack showed.
You said it's one thing playing well on a stage, another thing to win on a stage. Or Woxic is right there between the two. He's had a monstrous 2 maps of Counter-Strike. Mirage was no biggie. Here on Anubis, can he finish what he started? Can he find that final blow? 9-10, a risky move in middle, wide, and the boost comes up. Xantares was made for these kind of peaks, but 9-10 pulls back a second too late, and he would have been dead. The double orb, the centerpiece of this CT side, and he hits the headshot. Is that a flick? Who pre-aims that? Xantares humbled in middle. And Aurora go back to B. It's getting padded out. Blitz on his rotation. We've seen Mongols with really good stacks. They've always known the right time to pull that third player over. They've never needed the triple B. Not in the last few rounds. This time it's integral. Aurora through 1 choke point.
They couldn't aid this smoke open, and that would leave 2 players out in the middle of the bomb site right now with how they're holding this dark control. Because they telegraph it, they'll back up. God. Still Blitz caught with util pulled. This shot for Senzu. Aurora, they're moving in. They're picking up steam with Cardia trying to take space away. The only man that's unaccounted for right now is Senzu. They've heard that AWP fire off. They know he's here, and they'll wrap onto him with Cardia coming alive. Silenced, Mezzinho and 9-10. 2 versus 4 turns 2v2 in the blink of an eye, and they send Mezzinho into main, but he can't survive the journey. 9-10 swung on as Jota rising to the occasion with 4. He's also been having a bit of a quiet go at it here, but that is a confidence-boosting round for Jota. Right when they needed it, make no mistake, that one was left hanging in the balance in spite of a very convincing site take for Aurora. Retakes have been the strength of Mongols in this second half.
Not had to try on that B site so much though. Did Aurora go back to the site that let them in every single time? Mezzinho, great util. Nade Molly stops his play. That was Aurora about to explode and try and win the round immediately. And it would have worked if not for the util. No support for Mezzinho. That remains to be the case. Woxic fires off the AWP and finds a result.
Yeah, last few rounds, Blitz giving away these openers. And an attempt to swing and punish someone at the stairs has fed Woxic that opening kill. And it's in these slower rounds that Aurora have found their most comfort. Now this 5v4. Eyes set on the B play, strong position, a split in. And the Mongols so far away from being able to stack this side of the map, it might be coming down to another one of these retakes.
Grenades, they're out already. Xantares beats that Molotov, but won't beat Senzu.
Wait,
the bomb's going
Aurora
back.
overcooking. Sure, they're dodging the stack, but they leave Maggia to fight alone down in dark. These footsteps are heard. Right now, the Mongols know that this is a last-second change of heart.
They can still win this, though. It's only Mizzino in A, and, you know, he's
just
got
reblocked
nothing.
main.
Okay.
Oh, no. 20 seconds left, and he's only just used his smoke.
Gotta go.
He held on to all that util to throw it in right at the bitter end. And now Aurora have no choice but to try and play through, and they play right into his hands. Wakadia doesn't have the time. And so one round on this CT half for the Mongols. That's all they have to play with. But the story of them throughout this whole game has been doing more with less.
Mizzino with an excellent map again. Sure, he has been dying at A, but almost never going down without a fight. Always taking someone or two with him. Sure, definitely had more action in this map than anyone else on his team, just being that solo A player and sometimes having support, more often than not, just asked to perform alone. But this is also the bottom-rated player for Mongols at this event. Surprisingly so, showing up when they need him. Mongols can close this in this half. Aurora's worst nightmare. Do we have a similarly aggressive play? The insta-stare smoke comes out for Aurora. Oh,
That is a hell of a catch for Woxic.
he's back.
Senzu on the attempt to jump across. Throwing in to Woxic's sightline for a fraction of a second, and that's all it takes for your round to be over. Worst thing there, you don't feel like you made a misstep. Don't feel like you did anything wrong. You just have to admit he was faster. So now they look for mid, and look at the stack from Aurora in this first rifle round. 3 players lent in towards this A site, including Woxic's AWP. Last spotted over in dark.
You hope the block doesn't let you down. You hope Mongols still commit with their original plan. It looks like they will. Woxic needs to be careful. Caught out in the open now, focused on main. He's got a bit of cover, but they're playing towards the CT side of things. Aurora not overcommitting to these fights.
That's a meaty nade out of Xantares. He hears them splitting through camera. Woxic fell first. This 3-man stack's getting dismantled. Wakadia buys some much-needed time, keeping the pressure on as best he can. But these rotates are still a long way away. One might not be enough for Wakadia. AWP on this angle. Every swing is fraught with peril. So they'll wait for the smokes to fade. They'll lend time to these players on the extremity, but Wakadia's death was only ever a matter of time.
Nice.
Maggia able to pick up that kill on Blitz. In doing so, gives up his position. He waits for this flash from Jota. Better be a damn good flash. It doesn't get Mizzino off the line. And 9-10, a huge hat trick. He's been quiet all game long.
Maybe his most heroic round yet, and what a time for it to come through in a post plant on the A-bomb site to match this scoreline up 14 apiece. And we go back to thinking about those 4 opportunities that Aurora had to close this map in regulation. How close they came, how favored they were time after time, and how Mongols refused to go down. Well, can they get a chance? Can they take the lead? Can they find a map point? And again, it's despite Woxic's 5v4. Oh, disaster.
And you can feel Wakadia still has the fight in him. He's been remarkably consistent, constantly finding these multi-kill rounds for Aurora. This is now your second 5v4 in a row. You cannot afford to let this get away from you, or else no round will feel safe, and you're the ones staring down the barrel of a third map.
Yeah, just to think, 2 rounds, you laugh it all off. You forget about the mistakes. But right now, pressure put on WOXIC again. So reliable in this position. Puts on 2 more and finds Aurora that sacred match point. It's the next that's eluded them time after time. They cannot afford to fail now. "30 kills, 15 deaths for WOXIC. Back-to-back 2 KDs, just like last map."
And this is now your 5th chance to get this one over the line. This is in a game that WOXIC, one of the guys that has struggled and gone missing in these stage games, he's giving us a vintage WOXIC performance, rolling back the years. It's with Maja also fragging out. He's fell off a little bit in terms of his individual output, but not in this map. Wakadia multi-kill rounds, and even Zantares starting to find these openings again. This is the best Aurora have looked in a playoff game, and so this is where they have to take it. Wild move for 9-10 to open. And it's thrust that bomb at the feet of the captain. Maja can feel it, they've finally done it. That nightmare, these stage game blues, pushed aside. That dark cloud that hung over Aurora breaks away and gives sight to the beauty that is the Aurora. Into the semis they go. WOXIC looking lights out to take them there. And if he can keep up this form, if they can finally find their voice in these stage games, this is a very exciting tournament for this Aurora squad.
Absolutely. 5 playoffs in a row without a single win to their name. They finally break it. A humbling interview from Maja, hoping, praying for a game today, and they damn well did it. Felt like they threw their opportunity away in regulation, but WOXIC puts it together to find a win. Down to James and Ilya on the stage.